Hey guys, welcome to Divine Power with Dr. Soul. And I got my little guy Midnight here. He wouldn't get off my lap, okay? So he's just going to be in the video. It's kind of late here and I've been thinking about some things. There's a couple of misconceptions that people are having about one of the videos that I did. And so I wanted to kind of do that video again and give a little more information, a little bit more clarity. Okay. And that was the video about if your twin flame has a karmic. Okay. There's a couple of things I want to address as well, which is the fact that right now I am not doing readings. Okay. I don't know if you guys are aware, but there's been a lot that's went on in my family in the last month. I did a post, like a community post, that we had a murder in my family, and just energetically, everything that's been going on, it's just energetically, I just can't maintain the readings right now. Okay, so I'm not going to be doing any readings. The hotline will be updated with that information. You can still call in for advice and coaching, but you cannot call in right now for readings, and that is just indefinitely. I don't do these videos and talk to you guys about taking care of yourself, loving yourself, and teach all of these things, and then I don't live by it myself. I have to maintain myself. I have to be able to, energetically stay balanced, right? So sometimes certain things are just too much, and that's the way it is with the readings right now. Okay, so I'm sorry for any of you that are, kind of disappointed by that. Now, into the topic of what I wanted to talk about in this video is a lot of people seem to, and I will admit that that video, I don't feel like I was as clear as I could have been. Okay, so I feel like it did warrant some clarity. Some of it was my own lack of clarity in the way that I conveyed the message, and then some of it is just people are just way off in left field. Like some people are just off in the bushes. Concerning what I was talking about in that video. But when your person, okay, has a karmic, so what does that mean? That means that there's lessons for the both of you in that karmic being there. So when I say that you usher in the karmic, you're just as much involved in it. What I'm meaning by that is not that, by having self respect, dignity, integrity, character, or whatever, you're ushering in a karmic. No, that's absolutely ridiculous and you're off in the bushes, okay? What I'm saying is that just as much as that person had lessons to learn in that situation, you did as well. Okay, so how do you usher in the karmic? What I'm meaning is that you, in your own energy, you're wanting that as much as they are. Okay, and so what often happens, right, with masculines who end up in a situation with a karmic, it's usually that they are immature. Okay, they're not really in their divine state. Okay, they're kind of they're operating from their lower state. So what they're doing is they're typically using desperate women to feed their egos, or for whatever reasons they want to use that person, but it's usury. It's usually someone who is very interested in them, or that they saw as someone that they wouldn't have to exert much effort with, and they get a situation started, right? But then this person believes that it's real, like it's really real to this person. And so later on, what they end up dealing with is this person who thinks it's really real, and it causes them to have to look at themselves. Okay? Because then, as they're evolving, and this is a guy who's getting to a certain level in his own evolution, where he starts to kind of realize, like, okay, wow, he's looking at himself and his own low self esteem and how he's leading people on He's using people. Okay, so it may be a situation where it was someone he's really not even interested in. He never had any real genuine interest in, but they're offering up free money, sex, attention, adoration. They're just ready, they're desperate, and they're just ready to pour out all of this on someone that they barely know, that has not invested anything in them, and they run with it rather than sticking with the person that they truly love and care about, but that is requiring work from them. And guys, excuse my voice. I've been sick too. I had a cold. I got over it, and then my little kids gave me a cold, and then I got over it, and then my older son went to Kentucky and came back and gave me another one. Okay, so that's another reason I'm not trying to do as much talking and doing, the readings and all of that. I'm still doing coaching, but I'm not doing any readings. So excuse my voice because I know it's kind of cracking up a bit. But yeah, so they're getting all of this energy from this person that's kind of just willing to throw their energy out there without requiring anything. They're just really desperate for somebody, and they're having their own illusions going. So then this person gets in this illusion, and now when the man kind of retreats from that situation, this person isn't going anywhere. Sometimes this person is trying to cause problems in their relationship that they're trying to really be invested in, and now they have to look at themselves. But what you have to understand is, on the flip side of things, you're wanting this as well, because remember, this is a person that you've also been trying to get to grow up, to be more mature, and you wanted them to see themselves. Okay, and they weren't doing it with you. They weren't looking at all of their manipulative ways and different things like this, the very things that may have had you two at odds with one another, right? And so when I say that you're wanting it, that's what I'm meaning. Now, also, another way that this can be beneficial to you and why you might want this situation is sometimes it's showing you your own ways of where you were not communicating effectively. So you and this man may be going through certain situations simply because you're not communicating effectively. So he may not feel safe, which this is immaturity on his part, because it's not your job to carry someone else. Everybody has to do their own work. Okay? So just as much as you can see that men don't want to carry you, they want you to do your own work. As a woman, you're supposed to require the same thing. It's not your job to make sure that someone else is able to do their work. However, you do have a responsibility to communicate honestly. So sometimes what happens, okay, he finally is getting down. So sometimes what happens in some of these karmic situations is the man is coming to you beforehand and saying, look, they're asking if you want to accept them back, and you're playing hardball. You're not being honest and saying, look, listen, I love you. I would want this to work, and I would want to accept you back. However, the behavior that you've been displaying is just completely unacceptable to me, and there's no way I can deal with it. And until that changes in a real way, not temporary where you change your tune for 2 weeks and then you go back to what you've been doing, there has to be some serious change. But you let them know the truth, because sometimes the truth is that you do want this to work. You do want to be with him, but then you're saying, well, go be where I don't give a damn, and da 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 da. Sometimes these are the things that you need to look at when I say that, there's things that you're needing to address and look at within yourself as well. Because one thing I can say with the person who is your quote unquote twin, and I don't like using that term, but with the person who is really your twin, is going to be someone who is equally into you as you are to them. So when you say, listen, I want to be with you, they're always open to what you're saying. Okay, now in a karmic situation, you're saying stuff and it's not getting anywhere. But that's not the case with your twin. You can always say to them, listen, I really want this to work between us, and you can be honest, and they're always willing to meet you on the same level that you've shown up at. So they'll be just as honest with you as you are with them, just as open with you as you are with them. Okay? Because by the very dynamic between you two in the connection, it automatically opens the door for that type of dialogue once you do it. Okay? So if you're honest with them and you're saying, look, I want this to work, but I'm just not going to be able to tolerate this. And if this is what you're going to continue to do, I can't continue. But if you play hardball and you're just saying, no, I don't want you, and you're saying that out of ego and things like that, that is ways that you can usher a karmic in, because you're saying, I'm not trying to work with you and be honest with you. So you need to go learn with someone else that you're manipulative, that you're insecure, you have low self-esteem, and you need to go learn that in playing games with somebody else, because you can't play them with me. There's no right or wrong. Every journey is what it needs to be. Every situation is happening the way that it needs to happen. But this is the part of it that you need to understand. And this is what I mean when I'm saying that you usher in a karmic and you're playing a role in that dynamic. Okay? And most of the time, that's what it is. It's the lack of being able to just be honest and say, this is how I really feel. I do love you. Regardless of what you're doing, I still love you. It doesn't mean I'm going to tolerate what you're doing, but I do love you. But I just can't rock with that, So that's that, guys. That's what that is. And a lot of these things too, guys, I can't recommend the boot camps to you guys enough. If you're not, because I get a lot of people, you're coming to me, you're wanting to work together one-on-one, but you can't afford it. That's what the boot camps are for, okay? They'll help you work through a lot of these things. Some of the things that prevent you from being able to communicate openly, because most of the time it's fear and insecurity within yourself. So understand that you're not dealing with a man who's insecure and you're not. See, when you're no longer insecure and you're not in the same energy, that's where the separation occurs, because you're not going to be a vibrational match. Okay? But then you two are constantly ending up on the same vibration, if that makes any sense. You're constantly, ending up in the same place. Okay, so his insecurities may look different from your insecurities and fears, but it's your insecurities and fears nonetheless. So sometimes your own insecurities and fears are feeding off of his insecurities and fears, and you two have a dynamic going where you can't really get anywhere. And then that's where you need karmics to come into play, because karmics help your relationship. Karmics ultimately, in the grand scheme of things, they help him to see where he's being manipulative a lot of the times. Okay. Where he's not operating in integrity. Okay, because he's going to have this person here who won't go away, who's just really feeling like this is something so real, and he doesn't feel that way at all. And he's going to feel there's going to be some guilt about that. There's certain ways he's going to feel about that that's going to make him look at himself and say, why am I doing this? Like, why did I do this with this girl that I wasn't interested in at all? So that's that, guys. I hope it was beneficial. I'm going to continue. I'm going to start, trying to put out a lot more content and things like that. I've been missing you guys just as much as you've been missing me. I appreciate all of the love, the messages, everything that you guys have been sending me. Like, I really appreciate it. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.